Hi, welcome to Slick WIlly Fly, and today what we're going to do is the dinner bell. The one in the vise is a black on black. Here's a all pink version with a bead chain for the eyes. This one has a tungsten bead, so it's a great fly. This is a fly that I think is awesome when you're fishing those Miami City canals and Tamiami Trail between Miami going west to Naples or wherever you live. I mean, this is a great fly. That's where I come from. So I hope you have a cocktail, and let's talk materials. So for the tail, I'm going to use a couple of these fine feathers from this saddle. And then in this fly I used a little bit of pearl crystal flash, but in the one that we're about to tie I'm going to use this little Flashabou ripple. I don't even know what it's called. I have to find the bag for you. But man, it just looks cool. It's like a mirror type of ripple flash. We're going to use a little bit of black polar chenille and some black thread. That's pretty much it. This is a great fly, super simple to tie, very few materials, gets bites. So when I change the camera angle now, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe. And don't forget, Slick WIlly's on Instagram. So let's change the camera angle. Let's tie a fly. All right. So let's go ahead and pop this guy out. Set him aside. And like I said, I'm using a number 2 hook. This is a Mustad hook, wide gap. And I'm using 140 denier black thread. So all I'm going to do is put a base of thread down. I'm going to take it all the way back to the bend of the hook. Nice. Now I could at this point put a little crystal flash in. It won't hurt anything. In fact, I'll do it. Wasn't going to use any crystal flash. I don't like to get too much flash, but if we put a little crystal flash down first, it will give me a little bit of flash, and it'll also make a nice little bump for all these feathers I'm going to put on. So that right there is going to be long enough. I'm going to make this one a hair shorter than the one I showed you. I like to have variety in my box. And for me, like I was telling you, these are awesome flies, pretty much for any inshore application. But I just love these flies when I'm like searching those canals. That's why I call it the dinner bell. So that's about the length that I want right there. Perfect. So now I plucked 6 feathers. And what I did was I plucked them so that they're matching size. And I don't really want them super long. That's the length I'm looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and remove all the fuzzies beyond that length. Just like that. I could trim them a little, leaving me enough to tie in, just like that. Making sure that they're about the same length. So I'm going to do 2 on my side, and then I'm going to go ahead and put 2 on the opposite side. Didn't really tie anything hard there, but I kind of knew they were good. So now I'm going to get 2 more ready. I have my length established, which makes it a lot easier. I could have pre-prepped all this, but I think it's important that you get an idea of what it's really like when I'm prepping for feathers and when I'm prepping to tie. So I still have these together, pretty much lined up. Didn't like the way they were lined up, so I'm realigning them. There we go. I'm just going to present Couple of loose wraps, making sure I like where they are, which I do. And now I can lock those in. And now we have an option. I could put the last 2 feathers on, or before I put the last 2 feathers on, I could put a little bit of this crinkle flash, which is what I'm gonna do. And I think that 1 full strand might be too much, but we'll check it out. For sure, 1 is too much. I'm gonna trim that. So I'm gonna, like that static cling, it's clinging to me. So I'm gonna take this remaining and I'm going to, it's got a little stagger now, but I'm gonna put it on my side of the hook, not longer than the feathers. And I can wrap that nice and hard. And I could take it to the opposite side and capture it, making sure that I like the position, and I can lock it in nice and hard. Now I can open that. Perfect. So now I have the last remaining feathers. And I'm going to put 1 on each side, but now I'm going to use the natural bend to try and give this a little bit more body. I don't really want them any longer. I just want them to give me a little curl. Just like that. That tag was a little long, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that tag off. Nice. And now I can do the last feather. It's so much easier once you've done the first few, because then you have a length. Couple of loose wraps, making sure I like where everything is. That one's a little long. I'm going to go ahead and bring that in a little. You saw what I did there. It was a little bit long, so I undid it and reapplied my situation, my position. Beautiful. Now I'm happy with it. I can cut that tag off. Okay, so I'm done with the tail. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of deer hair, and I'm going to just do a little collar of black deer hair. I guess I forgot to mention the deer hair when I was talking about my materials. But I have this black deer hair here, nothing special, nothing fancy, just regular black deer hair. And I have my stacker, because I am going to stack this deer hair. And I'm just going to get a little clump, nothing big. And I'm going to pull the shorts out right now. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the stacker, just like that. And now we stack. there they are, perfectly aligned, the tips. Just pull it out. And lost a few there, it doesn't matter. So I'm just gonna place them. What I'm looking for is so that it wraps maybe about 1/4 of an inch, centimeter or so past the bend of the hook. A couple of loose wraps is all I'm doing right now. Now I'm gonna work with my fingers the deer hair around the hook, just like that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it in place and loosely wrap towards the bead. I'm wrapping towards the bead. And once I'm close to the bead, and I am, now I'm going to go ahead and pull this tight and bring it back and lock this in nice and hard all the way to where I started. Just like that. That's perfect. And then everything to the right of the thread, I'm going to go ahead and trim off right now. And then once I trim, I'm going to take a second and I'm going to vacuum, because this deer hair is messy. This is such a great fly, such an easy tie. But this little deer hair gives a lot of body to the polar chenille. A lot of body. I went back a little farther. I wanted to be a little farther back. Just like that. Clean that up a little. And now we start the polar chenille. But like I said, I need to vacuum just a second. We had a bit of a mess going on there. Okay, so I have this black polar chenille. And I guess I can make my life easy and just trim off a piece. It'll make it better for the video. So I'm going to go ahead and just tie it in right at the back. It's important that you understand that when you tie it in, I'm assuming you can see that thread. You tie it in right where you want the wraps to begin. Bring the thread all the way up to the bead. And now you can either use your rotary function or you can go manually. And you notice I'm going in the same direction as I did the thread. And I'm going to go ahead and use my rotary function. And I'm going to try, that was a little too wide a wrap. And I'm going to try to just draw everything to the back as I'm going. This is an awesome, awesome, super easy fly. Definite beginner tie. But I mean, I think you can see how this fly would catch a lot of fish. This is a great fly. Super inexpensive. Super easy for a beginner to tie. So that's far enough. So now we bring our thread up. And we capture the polar chenille. Oh, my thread broke. That does not normally happen with 140 denier. But it sometimes happens. The whole reason I use this strong thread is because I like to be able to crank. So now I need to start my thread again, making sure that I capture that, which I did. Now I need to carefully cut off the new tag on the thread, which I just did. Don't know if I'm ever going to find in this polar chenille. It might be hard to find the old tag, but that's captured. I can cut the chenille off. Oh, there's the old tag. Look at that. And the old tag is gone. Well, that was luck. So now it's just a whip finish. going to give it a second whip finish just to make sure. And this fly is done. Perfect. Beautiful. I'm going to take a needle and I'm just going to make sure that I don't have a bunch of trapped polar chenille. The dinner bell. You can tie this in chartreuse. You could tie this in white. You can mix and match. Pink, pink and black, black and purple. I mean, you're just limited by your imagination. And I think they just all look great. I like to trim a little bit close to the bead, giving it a little bit of a cone shape. Some of these get a little long, but for the most part, that's it. That came out great. There it is, the dinner bell. All right, so welcome back. So there it is, the dinner bell. Here's that first one you saw, which is a little bit longer. It's not terribly longer, but it's a little bit longer. And it's like I said, it's just up to your imagination. You saw the pink one. You could tie them in white, olive. You can mix and match black and purple. It's just a great fly. It'll catch anything from peacock bass to juvenile tarpon, or if you put it on the right size hook, you catch big tarpon. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe, and see you on the next video.